Hi everyone, Jim Rosenhaus along with you for our final Sim Game recap. And if you're a regular viewer of our Sim Games and have been throughout the season, we did not want to leave you hanging, wondering, well, what happened to the tribe in 2020 in the Sim Game world? So we will take you quickly through the end of the season and through the postseason as long as it lasted for the tribe in this final Sim Game recap. When we last spoke, the Indians reached the halfway point with a remarkable 54-27 record, a 5-game lead over the Minnesota Twins. And in the speed sim to the end of the season, they kept it rolling and finished in first place in the AL Central with 107 wins. There you see the standings. They won the Central by 3 games over the Minnesota Twins, who did sneak in as a wild card team with a very good season. And let's go through some of the end-of-season award winners for the Tribe. What a season for Shane Bieber, the American League Cy Young Award winner, 24 wins on the season. And not only did that garner Bieber the Cy Young Award, he was also the American League Most Valuable Player, edging out 2 of the sluggers from the Twins. On the relief front, Brad Hand was the American League Reliever of the Year with a astounding 55 saves. And then some other awards for Tribe players before the postseason begins. Oscar Mercado with a Gold Glove, great plays in center field throughout the Sim Game season. And Carlos Santana, another tremendous year at the plate, earns him the Silver Slugger Award for first baseman. The Indians reach the postseason. They do not have to go through the wild card round. The Twins did, and they lost the wild card game to the Angels, setting up a meeting between the Angels and the Indians in the American League Division Series. And to get things started at Progressive Field for the best-of-5 ALDS between the Indians and Angels, we check in with Tom Hamilton, Tribe General Manager Mike Chernoff, and Indians manager Terry Francona as we take in the pregame festivities of another postseason in downtown Cleveland.
Folks, get on board. It's a summer and an October to remember, hopefully, here in Cleveland.
It's definitely fun. It's way more fun than going home this time of year, and we're really looking forward to hopefully a long postseason run.
So much goes on the journey, and we've had a lot of ups and downs this year. Yet we endured, and now it gives us another chance to go play in the postseason, which is, it's what you live for in this game.
Now, the American League Division Series did not get off to the best of starts for the Tribe. In a tight game with the Angels, Shohei Ohtani hit a late-inning grand slam, and the Angels take Game 1 at Progressive Field by a score of 8-4. But the Tribe bounced back in Game 2, a 3-2 victory, keyed by Carlos Santana's 2-run home run in the 8th inning. On to Anaheim, the series shifted for Game 3, the pivotal Game 3 in a series deadlocked at 1 win apiece. And that's when Tyler Naquin came through late in the ballgame with his key RBI single. And that 9th inning base hit by Naquin put the Tribe in front for good, and they grabbed the lead in the series and would wrap it up one night later in Game 4 thanks to the home run hitting of Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez, and Cesar Hernandez. A 5-1 victory for the Tribe to wrap up the series.
Ball game! And this resilient bunch of Cleveland Indians will play for the American League pennant. And the Indians celebrating out by second base, jumping up and down, awaiting everybody to get in from the bullpen. How about that?
So the Indians were headed to the American League Championship Series, and as we take a look at the postseason brackets, we find their opponent a familiar postseason foe, the Houston Astros. And by virtue of the best record in the regular season, the Indians host Game 1 of the American League Championship Series at Progressive Field against Houston. Shane Bieber was terrific throughout. In fact, had a no-hitter through 7, and this is just one of his 9 strikeouts. But the game slipped away late, and Houston wins it by a final score of 2-1 to take a lead in the series. But the Indians squared up the series at 1 win apiece, heading to Houston. That's where we pick things up in Game 3. A lopsided victory for the Tribe, keyed by the offensive exploits of one man. And that is the kid who rehabbed so hard all spring and during the COVID. Tyler Naquin came up big for the Indians.
And a swing and a drive to deep left, away back, gone!
And the Indians would wrap things up in Game 5 thanks to their star shortstop.
The pitch swung on and whacked to deep right and way out of here. Well, that's how you get it going. And fair or not, this Indians offense goes as Frankie goes.
And in the end, it was Brad Hand, the AL reliever of the year, locking things up for the Indians and clinching the American League pennant.
Ball game! The Indians have won the American League pennant. And Cleveland, you will have a World Series. The Indians are the champions of the American League. The Indians have done what everyone thought was unthinkable.
And once again, we take a look at the brackets for the postseason, both American League and National League. And there you see it, the opponent for the Tribe in the World Series, the Los Angeles Dodgers, narrowly edging the Cubs in what could have been a rematch of 2016. I don't know if anyone could stomach that. So it's the Dodgers who are the opponent, and they have home field, so it's out to Chavez Ravine for the start of the World Series. Dodger Stadium, the venerable old ballpark, one of the oldest in baseball now, and the Indians took command of this series early in Game 1. Offensively, it was Jose Ramirez.
The pitch, swung on, hammered, deep right field. There she goes, gone for Ramirez.
Then in Game 2, another Tribe win, this time by a final score of 7-4. Carlos Santana had a huge RBI single that broke things open for the Tribe. A shutout win, 2-0 for the Tribe in Game 3 at Progressive Field, put the Indians up 3-0. The Dodgers did win Game 4 to extend the series with a 6-3 victory, but that set the stage for the Indians having a chance to win the World Series in Cleveland in Game 5.
Swinging a ground ball, base hit into right. Lindor comes through again.
And later on in the game, Jordan Luplow went deep.
Swung on, hit high in the air to deep left field. This ball is gone.
So we head to the 9th inning. Tribe up 5-1. Progressive Field going bananas, and Brad Hand looking to close it out and give the Indians the Sim Game World Series championship. A scene that has not been seen in Cleveland since 1948. Tribe beats the Dodgers 4-1 in the World Series, and the celebration is on. Let's send it downstairs and hear from Tribe manager Terry Francona.
Tito, I know they always talk about this being the journey, and this was a particularly long and winding road, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we made it, and I don't know where to start. I know you're supposed to, but we're going to let them enjoy it because they deserve to enjoy. Everybody deserves to enjoy this because it's not easy.
The feeling in that dugout as the 9th inning's playing out, what is that like from your perspective?
It's so hard to explain. It's almost agony, I don't know how the players felt, but I was nervous and then you get the anticipation. But it's just a lot of thoughts, a culmination, because you know how much hard work everybody has put into this.
And what a year on the Sim Game slate it was for the Tribe. 107 wins in the regular season, and then they dispatched the Angels in the ALDS. And they vanquished the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series to win the pennant, and they deny the Dodgers in the World Series. The Indians, in the Sim Game world, World Series champs.